Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another episode of the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Warren, and I'm joined, as always, by the Pixel Professor, Jacob Price. It's April 8th, 2026. Back to talk about video games. Jake, not a lot going on in the video game world. There are quite a few games coming out this month that we're going to be playing, but we had to jump on real quick to do a quick episode because Jake and I both got a chance to play Temtem Swarm. And we wanted to jump on and do a quick episode about it. Temtem Swarm just released out on PC. We've had a special topic about this, as well as some other things in reference to like taking existing IP and kind of making different types of games with it.
Yeah.
And that's what Temtem Swarm is. So it's taking the survivor genre. And we talked about this when we talked about oh my gosh, what's the mining dwarf
Deep Rock Galactic, right?
Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, when we talked about that. So this is Temtem, which if you don't know, Temtem is a Pokemon monster catching like MMO that came out several years ago. We actually have an episode on that as well, I believe, from several years ago. I think, pretty sure. Maybe?
Buried in the archive, maybe.
Buried deep in the archive. We definitely have talked about this, but anyway, Jake, how are we gonna break this one down?
We'll be talking about Temtem Swarm. To be honest, this will be a little light because typically we do narrative, game design, impact on the industry. This is going to skew really heavily towards game design and impact on the industry.
Yep.
Narrative is pretty light in this game, and we'll discuss kind of whether or not we think that's a good thing or not. Just to make it especially clear, we did get review keys for this game. So Cameron played this on PC. I played this on PS5. And there's a Switch version that has been announced, although I do not believe that there's a release date for it yet. So we had slightly different experiences playing it. I have a few things to say about the PS5 version. But yeah, so typically we do narrative, game design, impact on the industry. Narrative here is going to be 1 or 2 sentences from us, and then we're going to launch primarily in game design, and then return, as Cameron says, to this topic of kind of spin-off genres from established games. And so that's how we'll talk about Temtem Swarm on this episode.
Yeah, narrative, like you mentioned, like I think there's literally zero narrative here. Like they don't even really give you context on the world of Temtem. It's just like you either know what Temtem is or you don't.
Yeah, this feels I don't know how I feel about this. But it was in like a loading screen. I think I saw something along the lines of, remember, this is a simulation. No Temtem are actually harmed in this combat.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's that's deep. Okay.
I mean, it was like a loading screen tidbit, right? And it seems it's funny because I'm going to totally unpack this completely unnecessarily, because in reality, the idea is like battle your Temtem and level them up. They're in like a training simulation, and so they're not fighting real Temtem, and that's why they're being swarmed by so many, and that's why they're so aggressive. But I think it's interesting that they threw that in there because it feels like to me they're like really trying to combat or counter this narrative that like Pokemon is a dogfighting sim, which I actually don't think anybody has thought about Pokemon like that for probably 15 years. So I don't know. I mean, there's that. I mean, that's the narrative I guess, to present, is that this is all a simulation so that your Temtem can be better in battle prowess. I think it's enough. I'm a little surprised there wasn't like a 30-second cutscene at the beginning that's like, welcome, Temtem trainers. You are gonna train your Temtem up in this new training simulation that we have. No one actually gets hurt in this. The end. I don't know.
Give me something, you know? Give me something. Give me just like a PowerPoint presentation, you know? Like when you boot the game up. Give me some slides with like 3 slides that give me like a teeny bit of context. I don't know. I guess it's not necessary, but it's the whole peanut butter and jelly sandwich cut into triangles thing, right? I just think it would, it definitely adds to it, you know? I was watching a YouTube video, somebody talking about, they brought up Baldur's Gate 3, and they
How
said,
did I not see this coming?
I know, I don't know how this isn't really connecting Temtem Swarm to Baldur's Gate 3. It's just sort of a little bit of a tangent. But anyway, they said they called Baldur's Gate 3 old school design with modern polish, which I thought was an interesting take that I didn't agree with. But the point of that was that like their emphasis was on like, oh, clearly gamers have a desire for AAA polish regardless of the like the gameplay loop and design. Does that make sense?
Does that mean just no janky performance, or does that mean like highly polished?
Yeah, like AAA production. Like it's like basically, I think this is like so offhanded, so I don't think he was trying to make any argument really, but he just offhandedly made the comment that like what gamers actually care about is AAA polish, not the type of game it is, as proven by Baldur's Gate 3, which is a CRPG, which is typically, you know, played by old school PC gamer nerds. And it was like, I don't know if that's totally true. But anyway, point being, like, this isn't like a shot at Temtem Swarm. It's just me making a comment on like production. And I do think production does add a little bit. But anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying here. Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, I could just mention this quickly right now, and we'll just transition into game design.
Yep.
On PS5, so I ended up playing this game. I put in a fair amount of hours in the past few days in Temtem Swarm. It performed actually incredibly well, and I was really surprised because this, like other games of the genre, Bullet Heaven, Survivor games, whatever we're calling them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your screen can get cluttered really fast. And I was kind of shocked at how well this game could keep up with all the stuff on screen. I even played an online match with somebody, some rando. And still, the game played amazing, except in the menu after you end a run, where all the different badges kind of show up.
Yeah.
I got just crazy bad screen tear going through that menu.
Oh.
I was like, you know, and part of me is like, dude, if the game's going to have rough performance in one spot, this is the spot. No one really is spending a lot of time looking at this. It doesn't impact gameplay. It did kind of throw me off though, because I felt like the main game experience is really polished, right? Like it felt like it did really well, and everything behaved the way that it seemed like it was intended to.
Yeah, I think we get right into it. Performance was, I mean, I played on PC, so I didn't have any issues. But yeah, I mean, this is a Survivor game with stuff from Temtem, and I don't know if I think my first comment, unfortunately, is negative. I think the Temtem aesthetic vibe never really worked for me. So they do this sort of like animals that look like machines a little bit but aren't, kind of a little bit of art direction-y. It's a little bit blocky in that sense, sort of. I don't know. I think I just don't like the creature designs that much. I think some of them are really good, the ones that look a lot more like Pokemon, ironically. But I think the one thing that was disappointing was the one feeling that I couldn't stop having as I was playing was like, okay, it all feels good. It's a Survivor game. Stuff is blowing up on the screen. I'm getting abilities. It's hitting all those notes that a Survivor game is supposed to hit, and it's doing all those things really well. It looks good. I would say it probably the best looking Survivor game maybe you could arguably make. I mean, Vampire Survivors is pretty, excuse me, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I mean, I guess you could maybe have a standoff there, but I did find like the actual enemy Temtem creatures or whatever that you're fighting just like super uninteresting to look at on the screen. Versus I was thinking to myself about Vampire Survivors, even though it's literally Castlevania like unlicensed assets, it's still way more fun to look at, and it just fills the screen up with like really cool like little art monster things to look at. I felt like that was lacking, but overall, I mean, yeah, in terms of Survivor games, like it does all the Survivor stuff. So then it's just a question of I think because it does all the Survivor stuff, but it doesn't really do anything else, then it sort of falls back on like, well, do I like the world of Temtem and do I like the presentation? I think the answer for me was a bit lukewarm there.
I think you nailed a lot of the same feelings that I was having. So I've actually, as I've been playing this game more and more, I have been enjoying it more and more. I'll explain that in a little bit, but just to kind of respond to what you're getting at here, I think you have to like Temtem to like this game, because, and this is really tough. I mean, Temtem, from what I understand, was a pretty dang successful indie game, tackling a genre that has long been dominated by Pokemon and trying to cater to what hardcore Pokemon fans have long desired, which is a Pokemon MMO. And you and I both played the game, and I think you and I both, by and large, agree that they were really successful in accomplishing that goal.
Yep.
But man, this is the tough uphill battle of every single monster catching game under the sun that isn't Pokemon, and that it isn't Pokemon, and your creature designs have to go toe to toe with something as iconic as Pikachu.
Right.
And Pikachu is, I think last I checked, the most recognizable mascot ever in the entire world. And it's like, it's second to none. And after that, you're dealing with like Hello Kitty and Mario. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's always super difficult to do. Now, I'm with you. I think when the creature designs lean towards animals, I think they're cooler. I like them more. When they lean towards like digital or robot, because in Temtem, one of the types is digital.
That's right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. I'm not as interested in like the robot forms for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, again, that's personal preference. Now, it's, you know, if you like Temtem though, and you like those creatures and you like those typings, then you're probably going to get a lot more out of it. But yeah, I think if you've played a Survivor game, the things here are going to feel very familiar. You need to constantly keep moving. You take out a bunch of enemies. When you hit the XP threshold, you can get a new item or a new ability or a new attack move in this case. Typing matters. That's probably the mechanic that is unique to Temtem Swarm, that is important. Like, it's something that you are encountering all the time. So like, if you have a lightning type Temtem and it gets a lightning type move, it could get like bonus damage, and it will be super effective against specific Temtem that swarm you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the one mechanic that you're going to notice is different. Otherwise, you collect a bunch of meta currency and you can dump that into different abilities to kind of level up how you, or the, you know, and the different Temtem function like different characters. They have different skill trees and you can make them more powerful at the onset of a run. So it's much more likely that you end up completing a run. I'm trying to think of like other things that you do. There are the side quests that you can kind of do. Icons will show up in the middle of a run. You can go accomplish those. Something I want to point out there real quickly is in the single player mode, I think they're pretty boring. In co-op, they're infinitely more interesting.
Yep.
Because you both have to activate them and you both have to work together to complete the objective.
See, I didn't even know that there was couch co-op, Jake. That's a game changer. Yeah.
Well, there isn't. Actually, I did this online co-op. I just said public lobby.
You just did a public lobby. Okay, I was like, whoa. There's couch co-op? That changes this conversation, but I guess not.
Nope. Yeah. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
A little bit of a tease there.
But you did play online co-op, like public. Okay.
I did. Yeah. I created a public lobby. I had no idea how long this would take. It's a new game, but it doesn't have crossplay. And I'm playing on PS5, not Steam.
Yep.
And so I think I probably waited 5 minutes to match. You can match with 2 other people for a team of 3. I matched with 1, and then I slammed ready. I was like, I don't want to wait to see if we get a third.
Gotcha.
We ended up beating the round, though, so.
Nice. Yeah, I think on a positive note, yeah, that you mentioned, like, all the different Temtem monsters, and you've got this, like, massive roster here. I think that is one of my, like... So yeah, if you're super into Temtem and you played a bunch of that, then you're probably gonna love this because you can jump around between like your different Temtem and then unlock new ones and then like do different runs with different Temtem that you do. I gotta admit though, Jake, I kept thinking to myself, can you imagine a Pokemon did a Survivor? Like,
I mean, the indies are doing what Pokemon won't.
but I mean,
And
you think about like the different, because Pokemon does weird stuff with their IP, right? Like you've got Pokopia,
yeah,
you've got all the different. There's a million different like Pokemon offshoots now. There's like a MOBA.
yeah.
There's various mobile things. There's like, they could absolutely see them doing a Survivor like, couldn't you? I feel like I could see it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's odd to me that we have Pokemon Unite, this Pokemon MOBA. That to me seems like but it's successful. People they have a dedicated fan base to Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly think they could absolutely pull off a Pokemon Survivor game, and yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Temtem Swarm. Listen, it plays well. It does well. I know it sounds like Cameron and I are being pretty negative on this game. I think it's actually a well-designed game. It's fluid. It works. It performs well. And now we are kind of even moving along into impact on the industry as we're talking about just like, but man, what is the draw for playing this game if you're not familiar with, or you don't really know Temtem, or you don't really like
Yeah.
Temtem? And honestly, I'm kind of drawing a blank. Like, what is the unique thing that makes this game super fun? That makes you want to play this over what now are dozens of games in the genre coming out all the time.
Yeah, that's
And
the. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, I think like you said, like it just demonstrated by how quickly we kind of. I mean, you know what this game is. Like you really do. If you played any of these, like you really do know what this game is. Like I don't think there's many surprises here, which is fine, right? Like it is what it is. We move into that impact on the industry conversation. I always think of it as like, why did you decide to make this game, right? Like you had to. It's either A, it's like a pet project because you like Survivor like games like Vampire Survivors, and you're like, well, we have Temtem, so let's just make this, right? That's probably what it was, right. And then maybe we make some money. But to your point, Jake, it's like, what is this offer that I'm not getting from Vampire Survivors or Deep Rock Galactic Survivors? I don't know if they're, I don't know. Unless you really like Temtem, again, which, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it, So if I'm going to tell people about Survivor likes, I mean, it's going to be Vampire Survivors, like 10 Ways from Sunday. So, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one. I don't even really know where to place it because it does fit into that category that we've talked about. It's like, well, you should take your IP and you should expand it, but now we're running into this like, well, maybe you didn't need to do that, but it doesn't. But no, it's like it. Again, who's playing this? People who already like Temtem and maybe want a different way to play Temtem, and that's totally fine. That's great.
I know, it's so funny. I feel like we just caught ourselves in a trap that we set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of. Let's see if I can get ourselves out of this hole, and I honestly don't think that we can. But I could see this as like. I could see this as this studio is like, hey, we had this game. It was pretty successful. How can we get more people to play this MMO? Other than, because from what I understand, they essentially went out specifically to not create a forever game. I'm pretty sure the roadmap was like, we will expand this game for like 2 to 3 years, and then we're just going to let it go.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is like, okay, are you trying to get people to come back and play Temtem? Because if you are, this seems like, yeah, let's jump on the trend. It works. Like, again, it sounds like we're being super negative. This game plays very well, and if you like this genre, by all means, get it, right? It's going to retail for $12, or right now with the initial launch discount, it's like $10 or whatever, right? Like, I would say it's absolutely worth that money if this is the type of game that you like. But yeah, is it just, do you make it Temtem Swarm rather than something else Swarm because you think people are going to come play Temtem, because you think enough people will recognize Temtem and they'll jump on this game because of that? I kind of wish I just like had those numbers like at my disposal. I don't know if Temtem sold like 1 million copies and you need this game to sell, I don't know, 150,000 copies to break even, can you get like that many just out of the Temtem player base plus people who are interested in the genre? Like maybe, and folks, listeners, I'm just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Like,
mean, look, this thing can exist just because it wants to exist, right? Like, it doesn't really need
yeah,
a reason to. But it's also a game that's being put out to market, and I'm sure they want people to buy it. So that's why we
yeah,
have this category impact on the industry. And so, in the spirit of that discussion, it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like if I'm being brutally honest, it's like I maybe just wanted you to do something a little bit more than just sort of a Temtem skin. Like, give me something. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like some sort of change up to the structure. And was just too much of a lift and shift copycat of a Survivor genre with a Temtem skin, where it was like I needed something else. I needed like some other flavor or something added to the gameplay loop or something unique, like while I'm in a run that kind of gets me excited about what's happening and just makes it interesting. It's the surprise and delight factor. It was just missing for me
yeah.
from this thing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I said I would explain it, so I'll come around to it. I have been enjoying this game more and more, and there are a few reasons for that. One, the meta currency is crazy generous. The grind of this game is not steep. Basically, as soon as you do one run, you can get a lot of, oh my gosh, I almost call them pack suns. They're called pan suns.
90s kid, guys. 90s kid.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. Right? You get pan suns. That's your meta currency. The first time you make an attempt, you get a pretty decent amount, and then you can put those into your skill tree and upgrade your Temtem. And then when you beat a run, the game is very generous and gives you just a crap ton of them, and so you can really beef up your Temtem afterwards. When you beat a boss, you unlock an egg, and essentially what you have to do is in your next run on a new map, I think you have to do it on a new map. You essentially go out, you find the nest, you get the egg. The egg has a health bar, and you need the egg to survive 3 minutes. And if it does, then a new Temtem will hatch for you to use to your roster. And
Nice.
if you beat a run, though, you get your huge cash out of Pan Suns. But with the new Temtem, it has its own specific Pan Suns, and it will pull from that account of Pan Suns until you run out, and then you'll dip into your main like bank of Pan Suns.
Yep.
What this means basically is when you unlock a new Temtem, you are never playing it from scratch.
Right.
You can already give it some mega boost in its abilities, and then you can spend more on it, and you just don't have to do a grind. And so I felt like every level that I completed, at most, I've had to play through it twice. I'll play through it once, fail, get enough Pan Suns, juice up my guy, do another attempt, beat it, get a massive influx of Pan Suns, get a new egg, and then the game just like pulls you forward. And so that, I think, if there's one thing that might be the draw to this game, is that it's not something like Bone Razor Minions, which is like one of the grindiest versions of this game, of this genre that I've played.
Right.
This game will let you beat it quickly if you really want to.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Super valid point. There's like that collection element, like you mentioned. That I think that is a great call out that I missed. I want the stuff to explode more on the screen, though, Jake. You know, that's what I really want from this survival genre. I want to stand in the middle and see more stuff like blow up around me. But no, it's fine. I have Vampire Survivor stuff. But no, Temtem. Yeah, I mean, could also be a gateway for people to get back into Temtem. Is Temtem still being updated? It's a good question.
It's not. That's the thing, right? They had this roadmap plan. I should look up how long it was.
Like the actual, like not Temtem Survivors, like Temtem the game. Like it's not like being maintained or gonna have updates or anything.
From what I understand, after launch, their plan was really just to have an update for like a year or two.
Yeah, you're right.
And then call it
the last big patch, so it's over.
So as an Eminem, dude, I just 90s kid again. As an MMO, it's yeah, I mean you can hop back in it and it's a fantastic game. If you're looking for a really hard Pokemon game, Temtem is absolutely that. Its
It's
campaign is
tough.
probably 45 hours long,
Yeah.
and that it's a big hunk of game if you're interested in that. But yeah, I don't think that's the answer, right? Because they're not expanding it anymore, are they really trying to get people to play it still? I mean, of course, game developers want you to play their game whether it's at launch or 30 years out. They're happy that people are playing their
I mean,
game, right?
yeah, my assumption this is like a passion project. They did it, and they're probably working on whatever the next thing is, like Temtem 2 or whatever that's going to be, right? That's got to be what they're doing.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And I think bringing this back to the industry, if this is what they do that gets them the financing and carries them from Temtem, their first massive project, to whatever their next project is,
Right.
this game is a success in that way. I mean, it's a fun game. It's around $10 whenever you buy it. It's going to give you plenty of mileage, I think, out of that $10. I think what Cameron and I are just getting back to is like, this game looks great, it plays great, but there are hundreds of these games. And
Right.
what could I sincerely tell people that they would have to play that they could really only get from the Temtem Swarm experience? And the best thing that I can come up with is that it is very generous in its meta progression, and it's fun to unlock new Temtems, which I don't think is enough to make this game like really stand out.
Yeah, I think you said it best. Especially, random aside, that No Man's Sky just randomly dropped a full blown Pokemon update. Just like, what is that game? I don't even know what is No Man's Sky, Jake. I don't even full blown like monster catching and arena battling with like leveling system for monster. It's insane. It's totally nutso, dude. I'm like super tangential, but I mean, in terms of monster catching, it's on topic. But anyway, crazy.
My conspiracy theory with Hello Games and No Man's Sky is they keep adding in these absolutely random extra, mechanics and content, and really just to have the most well-rounded and best trained dev team ever. So whatever game they want to make, they can make it. They have experience making it already in No Man's Sky.
Light No Fire is never coming out. That's the real problem.
Man, no, that's what I.
Did you forget about that one?
No, I didn't forget. What I was gonna say was like, and that's what's gonna make Light No Fire one of the coolest games ever. But then you had to come in here with the truth.
When it comes out in 2030, next to Haunted Chocolatier. Wait, did we add that to the list of games that are never coming out in our special topics episode? Was it on there?
I mean, Haunted Chocolate. I think Light No Fire maybe made it.
I think this is my new favorite topic to talk about in video game news, is games that we think are coming but are never actually coming out.
There's a lot of them.
There's so many, dude. I just feel like there's more than ever. There's always like 2 or 3 that people really want to come out, and you're just not hearing any news from.
One of those games. Sorry, we're wrapping up here, obviously, because we're off topic. One of those games for me is Witchfire. That game looked really cool. Do you remember this one?
Isn't Witchfire out in early access on Steam?
I guess. Okay, yeah, that's right. It is out in early access on Steam.
Very highly regarded roguelike shooter thingy. Not 1.0 though. I was disappointed to see. I think this game is actually real. Sorry, we're off topic. Final note on Temtem Swarm. Give it a shot. If you ever played Temtem, it's probably, and you liked it, I could see you really enjoying this. It's also super cheap. It's on Steam. Give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, if you like Survivor games, it'll scratch that itch for sure.
Yep. And it's coming to Switch. This will be an amazing game for Switch.
Oh, that's a great. I mean, any Survivor, yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to say, speaking of games that are never coming out, I was disappointed to see that Eternal Life of Goldman doesn't actually have a release date. And
wait. What?
Yeah, it seems like it's coming and it's real. Dude, I played the demo for this. I think we talked about this off air.
Yeah.
Not only does this game looks more incredible than Cuphead from a like design, art direction standpoint and like illustration. I played the demo. Jake, this game could be like an all-timer. Like it is insane. And it plays extremely well. Dude, I played the demo and I was like really, really into it to the point where I was like, I need to stop playing the demo because I'm gonna play the crap out of this.
Yeah.
I have this strange fear that that's going to end up being like another game that just never comes out. Like that we got a demo and a million trailers and they just keep putting it off because you see the incredible level of art direction and you're like, is this ever going to come out? I feel like they could just continue polishing this forever. Anyway.
Well, a few things that we do know about the Eternal Life of Goldman is that it does have a Game Pass deal with Xbox.
Just like Hollow Knight.
Oh, shit, man. Well, there goes that.
Silk Song.
Listen, if Studio MDHR, and I'm looking directly into the camera right now for audio listeners, if you're not making a follow-up game to Cuphead, the Delicious Last Course, I know you're working on something, but we haven't heard a single peep about it. There will be a place in my heart for Eternal Life of Goldman.
Eternal Life of Goldman may be eating your lunch. Studio MDHR. I don't know. I mean, different kind of game, not like a boss rush game, like more of a platformer type of situation. But anyway, absolutely nuts. Like if you haven't seen that game on your screen, like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing, man?
What are you doing, man? Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, thanks so much for listening to our episode on Temtem Swarm. If you want more episodes like this, check us out. We have a million, literally hundreds of episodes on various games. If there's a game that you played or you're thinking about playing, we probably talked about it. We got a whole slate for this April for new games that we're going to talk about. Subscribe to whatever, if your podcast platform of choice. You can also find us now on YouTube. Link to that is in the description if you're listening here. youtube.com/PreaderCast, I think. Link to that's in the description. You can also join us if you want to support us directly. Patreon.com/PreaderCast. You can get extended editions of our regular episodes plus special topics episodes, which we do every single month. $5 a month gets you access to all that extra goodies. Jake also does indie impressions there, which is a totally separate thing for even more content. You can also watch Jake stream, twitch.tv/ChipDib18. Finally, join the Discord, jump in, join the conversation, give us a shout if you want to chat about an episode, talk to us, or a million other topics. Do so. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night.